We learned that there was a problem with this baby very early in the pregnancy. We were told that the baby's life could be in danger. He could have brain damage, heart damage, or it may happen that he may not make it through the pregnancy.
I had Rh positive blood, Sherry has Rh negative blood, and baby had Rh positive blood. And Sherry's body recognized the baby as a foreign object in her body.
In this situation, her body was fighting baby's red blood cells, causing destruction of the red blood cells, so causing the baby to be anemic.
In the best case scenario, the baby might have been born with complications and had to be in the hospital longer, but in the worst situation, the baby could have been born seriously ill or even died during the pregnancy.
A friend asked me, what was going on with the baby, and when I explained what was happening, I just broke down crying because I said to her, it feels like I could kill my own baby, and that's such a bizarre emotion.
There's a ray of hope that we heard about from our doctor.
We learned there was a procedure called PUBS, and that was a procedure that could transfuse blood into the baby while it was still inside of me in order to save the baby's life.
It sounded hopeful and yet very scary at the same time.
The PUBS procedure stands for percutaneous umbilical blood sampling.
It's where we take a needle and go in through the mom's abdomen into the baby's umbilical cord, and we take a sample of blood.
The PUBS test would tell us what is the baby's blood count. And that's the most important thing in deciding whether or not to transfuse a baby.
There was always this fear where if something went wrong, it could lead to a C-section and early delivery of the baby. I mean, way too early. I felt like this big vessel, and all these people were surrounding me and doing things to my body, and I just needed to lay there absolutely still. But I was awake for the whole thing. I could see the baby on the monitor as we did everything. I just remember feeling very intense through the whole procedure, praying that everything would go smoothly, that there would be no glitches, and the baby would be safe during all that.
The hardest part, I think, for the mother is to lay still for as long as it takes to do the procedure.
One time I breathed too deeply and the whole needle came out from the baby, and they had to start everything over again. One time I moved my hand across my belly and everything had to be started over again.
I would say it's like a needle in a haystack almost. At 24 weeks is usually when we start the PUBS procedure, and it's a very small target to aim for.
The accuracy of the process was amazing. With the accuracy of a needle going into an umbilical cord that you don't see other than on a monitor. The coordination of all the people involved.
We have a lab person that comes right to the room for the procedure, gets the samples as we're giving them to them, and runs them down to the lab, and then they call the room with the results.
Fairway. Okay.
We have blood available for every PUBS procedure when the baby is potentially anemic, so that we can set up 2 transfuse within a few minutes.
And I will push through a syringe, push the blood through a long tubing into the needle that Dr. Sipes is holding into the mom's abdomen, into the baby's umbilical cord. Through the course of the pregnancy, she had about 5 or 6 transfusions.
I could see the blood go through the syringe into his umbilical cord. I could see all that happening. It was totally incredible to see the blood going into his umbilical cord.
It is a miracle that we can do this procedure here and save those babies. We certainly think about that.
When he was finally born, I felt such a joy. It was just like this long road had come to an end in some ways. I felt like he was free of me. He was free of all the things that had gone on. To hear that first voice and that first cry is like, wow, he's got a voice, he's healthy, he made it. If we hadn't had that gift of blood, he probably would have never been here.
blood donor saved our son's life.
Words could never express our gratitude. Go get it, Bo. Go get it.